As you guys know, photography and filmmaking isn't just all about the camera, the lenses and all that's around this basically. We need to also store our photos somewhere and we need them to be safe. This is very important to me as a wedding photographer, as a filmmaker. It's something that's completely essential. And Tam from QNAP is going to help us understand how we can store this stuff safely and maybe even travel with it.
So this is one of our latest Thunderbolt NASs. So this is the TBS H574. So as you can see, it is relatively small compared to a number of our other products. The other beauty with this is it's all NVMe, so M.2 or E1S SSD drives. It comes with two Thunderbolt 4 ports, but it's also got 10 gigabit Ethernet connections on the back as well, so you can just use it as regular network attached storage or even as direct attached storage. If you're out and about doing a shoot, you can then connect to this unit, dump your content what you've created that day onto the NAS and work from the data straight from the NAS.
So for redundancy, would you say we should have a couple of these, or does this have built-in second set of RAID?
So this unit actually takes 5 NVMe drives, which can be configured just like any other physical, like spinning hard drive in a RAID array. So that helps with any, if one of the drives was to fail, you don't lose your data. So that's built in as standard with the operating system.
And what's this RAID here?
So it will support RAID 5, RAID 0 and RAID 10.
Okay, and you can choose, can you?
You can choose, absolutely. I mean, RAID 5 is generally the most recommended because obviously you've only got 5 bays in here and storage will be limited, so using RAID 5 gives you the best available storage for doing your edits.
Okay. So what does it come with storage-wise? How much space do I get when I buy this particular unit?
Okay, so QNAP actually don't supply the SSDs with our NAS products, but we do support up to 4 terabyte NVMe drives in this unit.
Okay.
So you could have 4 terabytes in a RAID 5, which would give you approximately 20 terabytes of usable storage. But you've got to bear in mind that's 20 terabytes of really fast NVMe storage.
Absolutely.
So you can work on 4K footage directly from the NAS.
Okay. And so how do we connect to it? You mentioned network, network port. So we get, what do we get here? We got HDMI. Okay, that's interesting.
So there is a number of ports on the back. So obviously, you've got the 10 gig Ethernet port. So that's just the 10 base T copper Ethernet port. And then there's a 2.5 gig as well. And then you can see here there's a Thunderbolt port for direct access, and there's also a Thunderbolt port on the front. So you can actually have 2 computers directly connected via Thunderbolt, but then you could also have the NAS connected via 10 gig, and you could have other PCs or Mac users on the network accessing that NAS over 10 gig.
And you get USB 3, and this is 2, I guess?
So yeah, USB 3 and 2. So what these are really useful for, especially in the photography world, is when you've got a hard drive full of video content or photographs, copying that data onto the NAS is way quicker just doing it direct through the USB.
So it's like a direct dump, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so do I have to control it anyway? Can I just plug it in?
So we actually have some software on the system which allows you to create almost like a macro. So what will happen is when that hard drive is plugged into the NAS, it will automatically copy the content from the external drive onto the NAS. But you can also do it manually as well. You can explore the external hard drive via the QNAP software.
I'm personally a bit of a backup freak. I like to have 2, 3, 7 copies, even on the cloud later. Can I connect more of these to my network, or do they talk to each other, or is it separate units?
So they are individual units, but you can do replication between all your other NAS units, and they don't have to be the same either. So if you wanted, this unit for being out on the road doing edits, but then back in your office you might have one of the larger desktop units which have spinning hard drives, so obviously a lot more capacity. You can create backup jobs so it will replicate whatever's on here to the NAS in the office.
So who would you say this is for? If we talk about photographers and maybe filmmakers?
Yeah, I mean that's really the sort of target market for that, and maybe people who need something a little bit more compact because they're going travelling and maybe they have to actually work on that footage there and then in a hotel room later. So they might have multiple cameras, multiple devices. They can copy all that content into one place and then work on it from one location.
Brilliant. Okay. So if I wanted to upgrade from this, what else does QNAP offer? If I wanted bigger, better, you know?
We've got a whole range of products over there. Yeah, I mean, so we do a number of desktop units. So one of the areas that we've been going into is flash. So obviously this is NVMe, and we've got a number of units over there which take U.2 and SATA SSDs, come with 25 gig connectivities, which is they're marketed at, you know, setups where there are several editors who need fast access to that storage. But yeah, we've got a whole host of products. Obviously this is more of a portable NAS, but yeah, there's certainly a lot of desktop products that we've got which are more than capable of doing that type of edit.
M.2 doesn't have any moving parts.
Correct, yeah.
So it's not like the old hard drives, it won't kind of, you know, move around, shake around in your bag, so it won't really break unless you like drop it and stamp on it.
Yeah, you still need, I won't want to throw it around too much, but it is a lot more durable than a hard drive. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
There's something very important on this little information here. It says hot-swappable M.2 SSDs.
Yes.
So this is obviously to do with the RAID on it.
Yeah.
How many can I swap out once? Probably one, is it?
So,
just 5
so yeah, I mean, generally, if you're having to swap out a drive, it's because it's failed.
Yes.
So yeah, you would only remove one at a time. So if you've got that product configured as RAID 5, you can have one SSD or drive fail. And I'll just quickly show you. So.
Okay. Oh, so like micro server units. Basically.
Yeah. So one thing that we've been able to do, so I don't know if you know this, but M.2 isn't actually hot swappable natively. So what we've done is we support the E1S form factor, which is hot pluggable, and we use these adapters, so that it means that you can use an M.2 in a hot pluggable drive bay, whereas historically M.2 was always something that was installed onto the motherboard and you had to like clip it in.
Screw it in, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas this allows you to basically turn an M.2 into a hot pluggable drive.
That's really ingenious, honestly. And can you like get it out completely?
Yeah, of course,
you can.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you basically have a little bracket with a piece of PCB that allows for the hot swappable part of it. Okay.
Exactly. So that is very similar to what you would see on a motherboard, but obviously it's then put into a caddy with a
kind of like cut out from the motherboard. Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. And the port allows you to swap it. Brilliant.
Yes.
That's really easy to use, especially on the go if you have multiple drives, like for backup.
It's quite important to make sure that they are the same drive. So, you know, between manufacturers, they sometimes have different speeds, different performance. What will happen is the same thing with the capacity. It would basically drop to the lowest common denominator.
Speed, yeah, absolutely. There you have it, guys. Back up your stuff and come back to QNAP for your equipment. Thank you very much, Dan.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks a lot.